Be doing another brief live stream here as we're on the road, but our normal schedule will resume next week. We're gonna talk a little bit about LSU baseball. We got some Alvin Kamara news to break down. I know we don't talk about the Saints much, but this is a pretty big situation. I'm gonna give you my take on the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL. Then we got Jackson Dart and Billy Bauman beefing. I don't know how I just realized this happened. And last but not least, what everyone's coming for, the LSU recruiting visit update for the Splash event this weekend. The recruiting team, they like to do these meetings where all the big time recruits, all the big names come in, get to meet each other, get to build that camaraderie. And I mean, it's smart. We talked with Chairman Wilson after the last one, and here pretty soon we'll get him back in the studio and we'll talk about it and just talk about, all things football with them. But let's start off with the LSU baseball news. Just a real quick blurb. Baseball America puts out their way too early top 25, and who headlines it? None other than LSU. So Jay Johnson and company are getting that respect that they deserve. They're putting out MLB talent. You see Tommy Tanks go to the league, lose the hair, but he's still, swinging the bat like nobody else. So I feel like the respect, it's deserved. They worked to get to this point. You've had nothing but generational success in guys like Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz kind of ripping up the rankings as well. But shout out Paul Skeens, he got his first career loss yesterday, still did insane, still had a great game. And I mean, anybody really with a brain can tell that this is going to be a pitcher to watch for decades. I mean, he's going to be a guy that is definitely going to be generationally, sound. I don't see many people throwing that consistently, that fast, that often. It seems like he don't really ever have an off night. This dude could be a pitching coach immediately after he retires. I feel like that's, definitely something that could be up his alley. He's that good. He's got the brand inside of things as well. He's pairing with Livy Dunn, and they kind of been making some noise. So I could really see him sticking around, sticking after the game, and continuing to grow that as well. Talking about after career plans and ending their careers, Alvin Kamara had a soundbite from his most recent media availability, and he says he wants to retire in New Orleans. Now, it's interesting because they have the holdout going on. He's sending messages. So something that I will say, Saints fans, is just you got to take this one with a grain of salt, only because if you're going to post beast mode and you're going to I feel like the beast mode is alluding to the I'm just here so I don't get fined, like he did in the Super Bowl with the media day, and he's kind of saying that in response to the training camp, like, hey, I'm just at training camp so I don't get fined. And I mean, whether that be the case or not, it's going to be for Mickey Loomis and Dennis and the entire Saints organization to decide. But I think this is the clear-cut bottom line. Alvin Kamara has been the most talented player that the Saints has had in recent memory. You can't let him go. Sure, the Michael Thomas situation was kind of unavoidable. You had to cut ties with him. That's another generational talent. We're talking about, we're throwing that term around. Let's throw that on him as well. Can't guard Mike. He's still got NFL record at this point, and then that goes by the wayside. I just would be real disappointed to see another huge asset to the Saints go wayside, because if that happens, I feel like now anybody's volatile. It's a clear message to the locker room, and it's just something that you would definitely want to consider. So this contract extension has to go. And honestly, in both of their favors, in reality, even if the Saints shell out a little more money, long term, this is going to help them out. It's similar to, let's use like the Packers situation with Jordan Love. We all know this contract's getting done. We know the Packers aren't letting Jordan Love walk. We know that, yeah, they might be holding out. Yeah, they might be some disgruntlement, but all be all, both teams and both players, they know their worth. They know that, yeah, we're in a situation where we can get our money. You know what? I think that it's probably going to be the case for both of them. They're both going to get paid. Both teams are going to come to an agreement. They're both going to continue to play at the squad that they're at. And if not, it'll be a head scratcher, but that is the NFL in a nutshell. But with the NFL and just kind of with what's been going on lately, the rookies coming in and getting adjusted throughout training camp, and then you get to see a lot of inside footage from Hard Knocks. It's been pretty cool to see the respect garnered around Malik Neighbors throughout the NFL, whether it be the Giants, whether it be even from Nick Saban himself, who called Malik directly a effing problem, verbatim from Coach Saban himself. I mean, that's pretty cool to be able to say, hey, I'm so destructive on the field that I'm going to ruin your game plan. I'm going to make you scratch your head. I'm going to make you really consider, what the hell to do. Second, the Giants had him as wide receiver 1, and that shouldn't shock many LSU fans at all. We would have him wide receiver 1 as well. He was one Biletnikoff vote away from being able to hoist some hardware up, but that's neither here nor there. I just want to say, though, the fact that the Giants are all in on this guy, if they get that Danny Dimes situation fixed, if they get him, in tune again and playing up to that contract that he has, I think that Malik Neighbors has a clear path to Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now, yeah, we got some talent. You got a lot of people that you can put this bill on, but I feel like he's going to be able to carry it. Like we just said, he didn't get the Blitnikoff Award, so he wants something. He's hungry for something. I wouldn't be surprised to see if, he got that goal. Favorite NFL player? Good Lord, I don't know. I'm gonna throw. I have no idea, honestly. I would say Aaron Rodgers, but he done upped and left on me, so I'm gonna leave that title blank. I got the Z. Moving into a little brief news, like I said, we saw some interesting stuff from Jackson Dart and Billy Bauman, and this happened a couple of weeks ago at the Manning Passing Academy. We seem to have accidentally stirred the pot a little bit. I thought we were just giving you the air it out footage, and then here we go. We got Billy Bauman quote tweeting Jackson Dart's video saying it's going to be a pick six. Jackson Dart replying saying, "Oh, we'll see, buddy." And then there we go. That meeting for October 26th has a little more fuel to the fire with Oklahoma and Ole Miss. I feel like, honestly, both teams are on the same level. Really don't know who would come out on top. I think it might honestly come down to the performances of both of those players that are drawing back and forth. I said it once, I'll say it again. I feel like the Jackson Dart video wasn't even that bad. I feel like it wasn't horrible. I feel like it's probably a 1 foot to 2 foot difference off, but in the grand scheme of things, he's still probably going to be able to sling some darts out over there, but hey, only time will tell. Last thing, LSU recruiting update, the visits. Yeah, the splash events going on. You're going to see, the headliners, Harlan Berry, DJ Pickett, Derek Meadows, all your commitments are going to get to come together. Now, I feel like that's the biggest part, is that you get them side by side, you get them working alongside each other, you get them getting comfortable with one another, because if you build those bonds within that program and within this class, they're more than likely going to stay together. And then also, whenever they come together, now they're going to be able to gel and hit the ground running a lot faster. They can be an early enrollee. They can play spring ball. They can get adjusted into the scheme more often than not. When you're able to have those incremental advances, is how you hit the ground running as a freshman or as a sophomore in your early years. The people that, come early, work harder, and look prepared in the beginning are going to get thrown out in the field a lot earlier comparatively. So I feel like getting them alongside each other right now is your most important part, not only for the commitment side of things, but just for the long-term success of this class. Because, yeah, you want to be the number 3 class, and you want to keep them all together. But the second part of it is you want them to be able to work together, the chemistry be on that same page, because you got to build the program as well as, get the players. It's a double-sided thing. You want to see how they interact with each other. I'm sure they're going to be doing drills. You want to see how they play together, of course. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to be in a locker room setting. They're going to be in a regular setting or whatever. We got to see all facets of this, and that's the important thing about recruiting with a big program like this. Not even just an SEC program, or not even LSU specifically, but I think the chemistry always has to be kept in mind for sure. That's all we have time for today. Like I said, we're going to do a stream Friday on the mobile. We're doing it in the evening. Also, College Football 25 content coming out. We got some stuff brewing. I know it's about to get interesting, but hey, stick with us here. We'll figure it out. Thanks for watching The Verdant Verdict.